Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we are going to play Voxel Tycoon. So this is a great little game. Got a mixture of Transport Fever in there, Factorio. So we're going to build factories with production lines, conveyor belts, and ship goods all around the map. So we're going to start a new game. We are going with Gamers Inc. as our world seed, so you can use that if you want to play along. Now the game lets you customize the difficulty for a whole bunch of different settings. We're going to go with the default though. However, we are making a couple of changes to our world map. So we want our region sizes to be slightly bigger, and we're going to have less mountains. And this is just so we are going to go more into trains. Now that's not to say that if you don't go with these settings you can't use trains. You can, it's just you probably won't be able to use them quite as soon, and I'm going to use them straight away, which is something I wouldn't normally do, but I thought that might make for a fun little start. Now the map is all procedurally generated, based on your map seed, and we will be beginning in a single region which will have 3 different resources. So it's going to have some iron ore, a coal deposit, and a forest for wood, and we need to ship those various products to the towns, and then we will unlock tech as we go along, and so we can make better products, better paying products, and so on. Alright, so what have we got here? So we've got an iron deposit down here. We've got a town, Dalston, that wants iron. We've got another town, Stockbridge, that wants wood and coal. We've got a wood deposit here and a coal deposit here. And again, another town here that wants iron ore. And one more, Washington, that wants coal. So pretty spread out. Yeah. Normally I would think maybe a little bit too spread out for the starting, but we are going to give it a go, and we're, like I say, we are going to use predominantly trains to do as much as we can. I'm going to start off with the iron deposit. So the first thing I want to do is just place down our iron mine so that I can get a good picture of where to lay out everything else. Then we're going to put a station down here. Now money's tight, so the longer you make the platform, the more it's going to cost, and also if you add platforms, that's going to cost us 39,000 for 2 platforms, 26. We are going to just start with a single platform. Alright, so we want to be able to pick up directly from the mine, because I don't want to build a warehouse this early on. And we're just going to place it something like that. We're going to create a train route up here to Dalston, so we need another station over here. Again though, thinking yeah, if we just place it out here, that should be fine. What I don't recommend is placing it within range of the building that you're trying to supply, because you then don't have control over the supply and demand. And the problem you will then get is you'll over deliver, and then the price will plummet. So this business can take a storage of 185 units of iron ore. If we hit 185, if this is full at the end of a month, then this price will just collapse. We might only get about 50% of the price that it's offering at the moment. So instead we are going to deliver here into a warehouse, and then we will have a freight station and just one, maybe two wagons transporting the iron ore to the business, and we can sort of adjust those to make sure that we don't oversupply. Alright, so let's put down the warehouse. Right, we just want the small warehouse. Again, saving as much money as we can. And I think we'll just put it right up against the platform. Or we could bring it in a little bit, I suppose, but no, we'll put it there. And that is going to be iron ore. So if you press Alt, you get up, shows you, what the warehouse is set to and how many resources are in it. And when we build wagons and trains, you'll also see that as well. And then we need a freight station. So let's just put it right next to the warehouse. Connect up the road. We could do it to there. No, we'll go down to there. That's fine. And finally, we do need to build a garage because we need to buy a truck. And again, in the interest of saving money, we're just going to nestle it in here. Maybe we should... No. Yeah, we'll just put it there. And we're going to buy a single truck. So we want one that can transport iron ore. So that's this one. Purchase that. And then we just need to set up a little transport route. So load. Oh yeah, and we need another freight station next to the business. So something like that should work. And we'll just wing that around there. Okay, so it's only going to do full loads. And we will save that. We can release him from the depot. Now we need to sort out our track. So we just want to go straight up there. I don't really want to go over that ridge, but it will cost us more to terraform it. Let's just leave that section for the moment. So eventually we're going to have another line going up and connecting to that forest. But for now, this wants to just come all the way back. So we just want a little curve. And yeah, I think we can just come straight down there. That looks pretty good. Let's send it there and just curve this back around. Okay. How are we doing for money? So we've got quite a bit left. We need a rail depot, which we will put here. So let's just connect that up like so. I'm going to yeah, I'm going to lower. I don't want this going up the slope. So you can just do sort of small increments like this, and it won't automatically go up the slope. If I do it like that, it's going to automatically raise itself to the next level, which we don't want. So just demolish that. And now we're through. Alright, so 281,000 left. Now we need to buy a train. Alright, so we've got two engines to choose from at the beginning. One that's going to be slightly faster but more expensive. Money's tight, so we're going to go for the cheaper one. Then we need to add some ore carts. So we want this one that can carry 8 ore. There is one that just carries 5, which is cheaper, but we're going to go with this version. Set it to iron ore, and then we can just duplicate that. Tick it, duplicate, tick tick, duplicate. That's going to carry 32 ore, and that's probably sufficient at the very beginning. We can add more carts later on. And then we just need to set up our route. So we're going to pick up from here. Full load, please. Deposit there. Unload. Save that. And you can begin. And we've still got a bit of money left. Alright, why don't we unpause and just make sure that that works. Now, yeah, one thing I forgot was to set signals. So it's decided to go this route, anti-clockwise. If I'd been setting my signals, I would have gone clockwise. It doesn't really matter. So we will stick with anti-clockwise. Alright, so we've got two forms of signals, semaphores and regular signals. They're the same, except you know, your semaphores have just got the flags going up and down, but they're cheaper. So that's what we are going to use at this stage of the game. And we're not going to do anything fancy with these signals. So we just want put those as well. Put one there. As we have more trains, we can put signals all the way along the rest of the track, but we don't need any more than that. I mean, it's true that we don't need any of those when we've only got a signal train, but we will be adding more. So there we go, that's going to deliver to the warehouse, and we've got our first wagon going off, delivering the iron ore. Deposited it in here at the freight station, and we made our first little bit of money. So we're getting 1,200 for each of those deliveries, and we just want to keep an eye on this stockpile. So it's dropping to 0, so it can cope with one wagon, and it could actually use a little bit more. So why don't we add a second wagon? So you just click copy here. We just pause a sec and click on the vehicle. That will copy it with all its settings, and then we just release that. Alternative way to do it is you click on one of the destinations and copy the wagon from there. Alright, I don't want any more than 2, that's for sure. So we've got a demand of 4 iron ore every day, and that will go up over time as you know the town grows. now we've filled our depot, so yeah, so could probably go away with just 3 wagons on the train. That would have been sufficient, but it'll just wait, so it's not the end of the world. Alright, so let's pause again and think, what do we want to do next? And I think what we want to do next is connect to the wood here and then deliver the wood down to this town. And this now, yeah, I don't want this going anti-clockwise. I want the trains going clockwise. So why don't we send you back to the depot? Because you've got loads of resources in that warehouse. And then let's fix the signals. So we're going to turn the signals around. And okay, so it's not just going to flip them by clicking on it, that's going to create a two-way signal which will allow traffic either direction, which is not what I want. So we are going to have to, unfortunately, delete these signals. Fortunately, we didn't build too many of them, so it's not the end of the world. And we just had these 2 here. Alright, and now we're going to set them up properly. So we want you to go in that direction and come back in there. Okay, so that just sorts out that junction. Okay, that's better. And now we can release this guy back onto the track, and he's going in the right direction. Good. So we're 20,000, or we traded 20,000 minus upkeep costs the first month. We definitely want to connect another business. So let's have a look at the forest. So we need to build a sawmill. And I want to sort of plan, we would have, you know, a few of these going along in a line here. So you have to build them connecting to the forest, so it turns green when it's connecting. Just going to put that one there. Let's just pause now while we sort out where our train stations are going to go. So again, we want a station that can connect directly to the sawmill, so that I can save on warehouse costs. I think something like that will do. Then we want to connect this track up here. Let's start off from this direction, just come down. Yeah, that's perfect. And then we need a station over here to deliver the wood to, and we're running out of money, so let's borrow. So we can borrow another 200,000, which hopefully that'll be enough to complete this little route. So I don't want it, the station, to be bordering any of these businesses. So you see that coal business has turned blue. I don't want that. I always want to deliver, as I said before, from a freight station, just so I can have better control over supply and demand. So we could put it, yeah, somewhere around here feels about right. there are two businesses that in here. It would be nice to have to be able to afford two stations, two platforms, I should say. Now, when you paused, if you build something and then demolish it, you get your full money back. As soon as you're on pause, then you only get a fraction of the cost back. So if let's up that to two stations. So that's going to cost us 43,000. And we'll just put it there for now. And connect that up. So we don't want to go up that slope, but I don't want to do too much terraforming. So that sort of works. And we'll come in on that platform, and then what we'll do is we'll just connect them both up. And then what you want to do is, if you're feeding into multiple platforms like this, which you don't know which one's going to be free, we're going to create a pre-signal, which is basically a chain signal, and then normal signals leading into the platform. And so this will allow access if one of these platforms is free. And it will just, train can then go to the appropriate one. So then we want to bring this back around, connect down here. Okay, yeah, I guess that works. And again, we'll just connect those. And then we want our, I think we just want normal signals, don't we, though? No, we don't. We want the normal signal there. These, need to be the pre-signals. I think that's right. We'll find out as the game goes on. Let's just add signals here. We don't need them just yet, but we will need them. And that's another route sorted. So we just need to buy the train, and in fact also we need to buy the freight stations, etc. around here. Yeah, so let's get the time going on, because we're not going to have the money actually to do this, complete this just yet. We need a little bit more income, but let's get the warehouse down first. That's going to be for wood. Then we need a freight station for wagons. Let's do it like that. And another one down here. Unfortunately, I need to buy another garage because we don't have a road connection between these two towns. So I'll just put that We've got 76,000 left, which isn't a lot. So while that ticks up, let's just pay off the couple of notches of the loan. That saves us a little bit of interest, and we'll just let the time tick along. So we've got 60,000, no 80,000 that we can spend. So we're looking at sort of 24,000 for the truck, and then how much for the train? So 68 plus 2 or 3 carriages. Let's call it 100, just over 100,000 plus the wagon. So we want about 130,000 ish to complete this. This isn't the way I would recommend you start with trains. Start with trucks. You'll make money faster at the start, but you know, it's quite interesting to see if you know how well we can do just setting off with trains. So we are making money, albeit slowly. How is supply? Yeah, so we've only got 30 in there, so it's creeping up slowly. Eventually, like I said, the town will demand more than 4, and that should bring it back down. And if it gets close to the 180, then we'll just mothball one of these wagons for a bit. Alright, so we're approaching 100,000. We don't really want to pre-build the vehicles because you do pay. I mean, you're not paying a lot in maintenance, running costs, but there is a cost, so you know. So 33,000, almost 34,000 a month. Okay, so I've got 100,000 now. So we need another month, really, don't we, before we're going to be able to afford it. I suppose what we could do is just get a train with a single wagon. Probably afford that. So that would be, let's do another quick calculation then. So 69, let's just pause a sec. So 69, 79, 80, 81, 82,000. 102. So we're looking at sort of 106,000. So in fact, we're pretty close. If we just go with a single wagon on the train to begin with, and then we will obviously add more. So while the time's ticking, let's just have a look at the rest of this map. So we've got the coal mine up here. We've got a demand for coal. So that'll probably be the next thing to do, build a station, ship down to there. Obviously normally you would just build a road and some wagons and for that sort of distance, but you know, we're trying to stick to trains as much as possible. We can extend and deliver iron ore up there as well. Maybe that would be better, as we've already got the the factory, the mine. Yeah. Alright, so money's ticked up enough that we could probably build the single wagon. Do really want at least 2 though, I feel, on the train. So let's just be patient. This is the fastest running speed. So there is a little bit of sitting around waiting at the beginning of the game. We're getting closer, there we go. So now we've got 120,000. So as you see here on this message, so demand has decreased for this coal here because we're not supplying anything to the business. And eventually the business will go bankrupt if we never supply to it. Alright, let's see if we can... We're just pausing again now. Let's go ahead and... We're going to add 2 wagons. So that will at least ship 16 wood. And yeah, we need to take out our loan. Oh, and our loan amount has gone up 20,000 as well. So we've got 144 to spend. Alright, excellent. Right, let's just pause that. Let's build the truck first. It's much easier to just add another truck rather than add another wagon to the train. We'll just see how much money we've got. So just create the very small transfer route. Save that route. Release it. Okay. So now we've got 120,000 to spend on our train. Which means we might even be able to afford 3. Yeah, we can. We can even afford 4, but I don't think we need 4. 3 will be enough. So I'm going to pick up from the forest, drop off at the town. And away we go. Right, so you're going to stop at the signal. Yes, that's... Well, this is only going to be a problem this once, because we're not coming back up this piece of track. So we're just going to wait for that train to unload, and we're off. And there we go. Picking up the wood, coming down. Excellent. And as we can see, we're not emptying the warehouse between the runs, so 3 carriages was more than enough. So how is the supply? So it's hitting 0, but only just. So I don't think in that time it didn't even consume back down to 0. So yeah, a single truck is supplying that business. I think that was because demand went down to 3, because we didn't supply it for quite a while. It will go back up, so bankruptcy avoided. So I think that was obviously our wooden business here. Okay, and we should be making more money now, so up to 35,000 last month. I'm not sure that probably wasn't a full month either, so we're probably making more than that. So let's just let these continue. So why don't we take a pause here? I'll let this run on a little bit just to let the money tick along off screen, and then we will come back in the next episode. So thank you all for watching. Be strong, be kind, and I'll see you next time.